It is 10 days' march from the land of the Pechenegs to the land of the Slavs. The first town encountered after crossing the frontier is Vabnit. To reach it, one crosses steppe and trackless wilderness with springs and thick forest. The country where the Slavs dwell is flat and heavily forested. There are no vineyards or cultivated fields. They have a sort of wooden box provided with holes in which bees live and make their honey. In their language, they are called ulishas. They collect around 10 jars of honey from each box. They herd pigs as if they were sheep. They burn their dead. When a woman dies, they cut her hands and face with a knife. The day after the funeral of a man, after he has been burned, they collect the ashes and put them in an urn, which is buried on a hill. After a year, they place 20 hives, more or less, on the hill. The family gathers and eats and drinks there, and then everyone goes home. If the dead man had 3 wives, and one of them says she loved him, she raises 2 posts near the tomb and sets another horizontally across them. To this crossbeam she attaches a rope and ties the other end round her neck. When these preparations have been made, they remove the stool she has been standing on, and she strangles. Her body is then thrown in the fire and burned. They all worship fire. Their chief crop is millet. At harvest time, they place a few grains in a dish and hold it up to the sky, saying, "Lord, it is you who gave us our daily bread. Continue to show us your benevolence." They have different kinds of lutes, panpipes, and flutes a cubit long. Their lutes have 8 strings. They drink mead. They play their instruments during the incineration of their dead, and claim that their rejoicing attests the mercy of the Lord to the dead. They have very few mules, and even notables possess very few horses. Their arms are javelins, shields, and lances. They have no others. They obey a chief named Subanj and carry out his orders. He dwells in the middle of the land of the Secaliber. Their supreme lord, called Chief of Chiefs, is called Svetopolk. The Subanj is his lieutenant and viceroy. This king has many cattle and lives exclusively on their milk. He has splendid, finely woven and effective coats of mail. The name of the town in which he lives is Graditsa. For 3 days every month, a great market is held there, and every sort of commercial transaction takes place. The extreme cold which afflicts the country is so harsh that the inhabitants are forced to construct underground dwellings, roofed with wood like a church and completely covered with earth. The head of the family builds one of these for his family and relatives. They bring firewood and stones, light the wood until the stones turn red hot, and then throw water on them. The steam released warms the room, and the inhabitants take off their clothes and live in this shelter till spring. The ruler levies fixed taxes every year. Every man must supply one of his daughter's gowns. If he has a son, his clothing must be offered. If he has no children, he gives one of his wife's or concubines' robes. In this country, thieves are strangled or exiled to Jira, the region most remote from this principality.